can we talk about something
Why
else?
are you afraid to talk about? Did you not promise that we're going to talk about Bani Qurayza?
Yeah, but you know.
So wait, hold on. I don't mind not talking about Bani Qurayza, but next time I don't want you come to me.
I need to look into that because time
but
and again.
that's fine.
Now?
6 months. 6 months I asked him. About 6 months ago I asked you, are we going to have the debate?
I prepared myself.
Yes?
And
what
came
happened?
Here, you were not here. Banu Qurayza thing,
I'm here now.
I even printed out. I printed out the papers which are at home right now. You see, when next week I come, I'll make that all topic, and that paper I need to read from them.
Okay.
You know, that
let's
the treaty.
Okay, our subject today is we're talking about preservation of the Quran. We're talking about the preservation of the Quran. Yes. Can we talk about that?
Yes, we can talk about preservation of the Quran. Yeah.
Okay. So our question is this: when we read through the hadiths, it says that the hadith about breast suckling and also the stoning of those who are adultery. Yeah.
I hope one thing to start with. Alhamdulillah, subhanallah, sorry, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, wa salatu wa salam ala Muhammad al-Amin. I hope you're going to show me the authentic hadith. For me, only authentic hadith, minimum requirement is authentic hadith. Can you show me authentic hadith?
I will show you nothing but authentic hadith.
Okay.
Tell me if they're not authentic. So, Subhan ibn Majah.
Yeah.
Yes? 1944. It says, yeah. I'm going to read you several. I'm going to read you Sahih Muslim as well.
1944 is it?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just find that while I just quickly.
Because I read the hadith about that, and that's not authentic. The breast suckling one, it's not authentic hadith.
According to who?
According to the.
Okay, let's read Sahih Muslim.
The one I'm talking about, the sheep.
Yeah.
The tame sheep, that's not authentic.
Okay, in that case, first one it is authentic.
Am I debating?
No, because what you do? No.
If it is not authentic, why it's not in the Quran? Because according to Sahih Bukhari, it's Sahih Muslim, it's supposed to be in the Quran. According to it's supposed to be in the Quran.
So Aisha said, do you agree that?
Where source telling you that's not authentic source, so you cannot rely on that.
No, but do you agree that Aisha said that these verses were supposed to be the suckling verses?
Show me the hadith.
Supposed to, yeah.
I'm saying that hadith what I read is not authentic.
All right.
It's the category is Hasan, not Sahih.
It doesn't matter, they all pass the test.
Who told you that pass the test?
Pass the test.
Or who told you that?
According to your Hamza.
Okay, you say Hamza Yusuf. Okay. That's your highest source? That's your highest source telling you?
You need to tell me why it doesn't pass your test.
If I'm
You need to tell me why it doesn't.
No, I'm telling you.
Finish with that and I'll come to you.
Yeah, it's going to come to. Where's the one about the Holy Quran? When Aisha says that it's the verse is not in the Holy Quran. Have you got that? I'll read that one to you, and then from there we'll just start the conversation there. Yeah.
Right.
So we're gonna just read what Aisha said, and then we'll go. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so here it is. Yeah. So Sahih Muslim 83421.
83421.
Yeah.
I just want to see it here. I got a book over these.
So I'll read it while you're searching.
Sorry, number again, please.
Sahih Muslim, volume 8, 3421. It's right here in front of you.
3421.
Yeah. Yes, Aisha reported that it had been revealed in the Holy Quran that 10 clear sucklings make the marriage unlawful. Then it was abrogated by 5 sucklings. And Allah's apostle died, and it was before that time found in the Holy Quran and recited by the Muslims.
Right.
Sahih Muslim 83421. So just to clarify, Aisha herself is saying it was not only were these verses or this teaching taught back then by the apostle, but it was actually practiced and recited in the time of Muhammad. But now we don't have these verses in the Quran, but it says that it's supposed to be in the Holy Quran. So yeah, respond.
I was going to respond about this 10 sucklings and 5
Okay,
sucklings.
let me just make my question succinct. Where are these verses in the Quran?
Okay.
Yeah, which Quran? And
Okay, no. That's the point I was going to make here. First of all, this is not about the stranger coming and suckling a woman's breast.
no, I'm asking about the 5 sucklings and the 10 sucklings. It says, hey, look, it's very, look, Abbas, don't do this. Listen, read what it says for yourself. Yes, it says Aisha reported that it made revealed Holy Quran that 10 clear sucklings. Yes, in the Quran, 10 clear sucklings. Yes, make the marriage unlawful. Then it was abrogated by 5 sucklings. So show us the 10 clear sucklings and then show us where it's been abrogated.
First of all, this hadith make my argument. What I'm saying, if husband suckle wives, that's exactly this what it means.
It will make marriage unlawful.
Unlawful.
Yes. Marriage unlawful.
This gentleman can come and suck the breast.
I think okay. I'll talk to you about that. That's exactly what I was saying last week.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was saying last week.
So can you show us in the Quran where these verses are?
There are no such verses in the Quran.
Right. But Sahih Muslim, who lived closer to the time of Muhammad than you do, who's more authentic than you are, Aisha, who was the child bride of Muhammad, made a statement that you disagree with. So who should I trust? Sahih Muslim, Aisha, who lived with the Prophet, or should I trust you?
Well, what happened? Our criteria is the Quran. And Quran clearly says in chapter 15 verse 9 that we have revealed the zikr and we're going to be the guard of it. So meaning there's nothing going to go out of the Quran, nothing going to come into the Quran. When the hadith is saying otherwise, what are we going to do? We're going to follow the Quran or we're going to follow the hadith? So on that basis, I will reject this hadith.
Right.
Because the Quran itself is telling us the Quran is, Allah is guiding the zikr.
Right.
But this hadith says there's the verses of suckling.
Right.
And there are no verses of suckling.
So just be clear. You're rejecting Sahih Muslim, huh?
How many hadith?
Yeah, I haven't even started yet. I'll just read you this initial one. What I'm asking you is this. It's very clear. Yes. Are you disagreeing with Sahih Muslim here? Yes. You're throwing Sahih Muslim under the bus.
What I'm saying is my Quran is my yardstick. But anything goes against it, I will reject it.
Right. So
You saying here Allah revealed the verses of suckling.
So I'm asking.
Quran says we are guarding it. So either Quran is lying or either Hadith is lying.
Do you do mutar marriage, Abbas? Do you do mutar
Am I arguing him or you?
No, but it's
So
Why?
if you don't do mutar marriage, why not?
yes.
Because it's in the hadith.
It's in the hadith.
I'm-
Yeah.
I'm-
Hadith. Do you know the problem? The problem you're always gonna have. Because you are lying and you're deceiving.
Hatun.
I'm going to put you
Hatun, hold your horses.
Okay. Hadith.
Hold your horses.
I mean hadith. Abbas.
Somebody give her
Abbas.
somebody give her a
Abbas.
drink or cold drink or something. You have
Abbas,
cold drink?
listen.
You have ice in that?
Okay. See. I would rather you do this, yeah? If I be fair with you. Just like when I challenged you to the debate with Banu Qurayza, which you've been promising me for 6 months. I'd rather you say, I'm not ready to discuss this, to debate this, because I don't have the answer, rather than try to deceive us into thinking that you do not see Sahih Muslim as authentic, and that these verses are not authentic, and all these verses from Sahih Muslim there again,
Go one by one.
hold on, Sahih bin Majah, and you're going to say, well, because the Quran rejects it. So what I'm saying to you is that I'd rather you say you're not ready for the debate than lie about this. Yes? Every Muslim says that Sahih Muslim and Sahih Bukhari are the most offensive.
First of all, don't rub on Banu Qurayza thing. We talked about it.
You said 6 months.
No, we talked about it. Last week you didn't say,
Okay.
can we talk about Banu Qurayza next week? You probably came with a mind to have a debate on Banu Qurayza. I didn't. I have papers at home which I worked on Banu Qurayza. So if I'm going to
I know. Is this how? I've never heard so many excuses.
Hey, Brother William, how are you?
I haven't seen you for a long time.
Yes.
All right.
Oh,
So let's read.
I lost your phone.
So let's read this.
Yes, I will give you.
Zainab, daughter of Abu Salama, reported, I heard Salama, the wife of Allah's apostles, may peace be upon him, saying to Aisha,
I'm a fan, by the way.
by Allah, I do not like to be seen by a young boy who has passed the period of fosterage. Whereupon she, Aisha, said, why is it so? Salah, daughter of Suhail, came to Allah's messenger may peace be upon him, said, I'm going to skip all this stuff.
Don't
I
wait.
say, wait.
My answer is the same.
Brother, let me
My
finish.
Quran is saying Allah is guarding it. The Hadith is saying. So
Are you throwing Sahih Bukhari under the bus?
Quran from the time of Muhammad. If it was guarded, where is that Quran from the time of Muhammad?
Yes.
Can you go behind the camera?
No, can you show that?
Hello, come
But
on.
that's a legitimate question.
There's a guys. Those
That's a legitimate
annoying voice
question.
you're hearing behind the camera is,
Yes.
by the way, Hatun.
Why can't you? Now, these are legitimate questions, though. Sometimes, look
You're
at
not ready.
no, because what it shows, yeah.
Abbas, if Godwin is making strong case, if Allah promised to guard it, according to Surah 15, where is that guarded Quran from the time of Muhammad?
No, right now
Why
in
we
my
don't
phone.
No,
It's my phone right now.
Abbas,
Abbas,
your
look.
phone doesn't even go behind the 1924. That's another topic. If you are going to put your Sahih Bukhari, tell Godwin why you do not practice muta marriage.
Yes.
Look.
So you're okay to butcher Sahih Muslim?
I challenge my lady.
Because all
here-
these verses
I
we're
challenge
reading-
my lady here many times about talking about the contradiction in the Quran and the Bible. So
You always run away.
Listen, Abbas, you're
who
good
ran
at running
last
away.
week? Who ran away last week?
Just finish.
You just
You know
said, I
what?
don't
This,
wanna
no,
talk
okay. The
just
problem you're gonna have here is one, you're going against orthodox kind of Islamic sort of culture in terms of and the traditions in terms of using the most authentic hadiths in order, or according to you, the most authentic hadiths in order to understand the Quran. What is so strange about this, sir? What is so
Hatun, change a little bit. There's a way there.
He wants to be on camera. He wants to be famous.
Oh, I have to wait you from here.
He wants to be famous. Come on, everyone wants to see your flowery shirt. Come on, huh?
Okay,
you
no.
work for a reason.
No, I'll
Yes?
tell you what,
So what I'm saying is like, what you're doing, and this is kind of disingenuous of you, because every single time when we talk, you will show me a verse and say, is it authentic? Is it authentic? Is it Sahih? And that you would base your arguments on that. The moment we bring out your sources, not my sources, and we read them to you, you say, oh, it doesn't matter what Sahih Muslim says. We don't matter what Sahih Bukhari says. It doesn't matter what Tirmidhi, it doesn't matter anymore. Just because...
For who doesn't matter anymore?
Well, because all of these sources are saying that these verses were part, and in fact, when you go to Saudi Arabia, people are practicing this now because it's in the hadiths. How do you practice how many times to pray?
I can answer that.
You don't just practice it just based on the Quran.
I can answer
How do you do muta marriage? Okay, how do you practice? That's a good one. Muta marriage. Marriage.
I'm not going to tell on the camera.
Why? Come on.
Are you saying what I'm going to ask you to do?
He's embarrassed.
No. When I find a nice woman, beautiful woman, I do muta marriage.
Oh my gosh. Abbas is disappointed.
Just joking.
We used to think that,
Hey, just joking. Don't take it.
Feeling to put that to your send that to your wife.
send that to we'll text that to your wife.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my wife knows that I'm allowed to marry 4 wives.
Stay out
so
of
she
Vegas.
says,
Stay out of Vegas.
Stay out of Vegas.
yeah, no, muta marriage I don't need. I'm going to...
Marriage is
It's hard to get it out of your head.
I still need 3 more to find. Yeah, 3 lovely.
All right,
people
so
to find.
Abbas, you are
Go
kind
one
of,
at
to
the
be honest with you, you are kind of, I'll be honest, I think this
No,
conversation
can I say
not going
something?
anywhere.
No, you're saying you're going against the Orthodox.
Yeah, go on. Go on, what's your point? Go on, make your point.
What I'm saying is, as a Muslim, my yardstick is the Quran. Yeah, every Muslim knows, even the Sahih Muslim, Sahih Bukhari, is always under the Quran. So when my Quran is telling me one thing, for example, last week I had an debate with Hatun, that she said, look, 10 times a woman's supposed to give a breast to a man, stranger, and that will become a family member. And I quote her the Quranic verse, chapter 24, verse 30 and 31, when it says, the believing women guard your modesty and cover your private parts. So Quran is telling you don't show your private parts to anybody, but the Hadith is telling you, no, the man can come and suckle 10 times. So that's a clear no, don't. That's
The mic's not on.
private part is not the breast.
No. Go on.
don't say that. Don't say that. Look at the woman is saying that. You believe that?
No, I tell you what, quote it, and then, yeah.
Chapter 24. verse,
Private parts, yeah?
Yeah, chapter 24,
Right,
verse
okay.
31 says. You want me to read it?
How are you?
Hey, hello, brother.
God is love.
I'm just in the middle of in the talk.
Don't debate them. It's
I-
not
Why are you dragging Muslims away?
because you know why?
He doesn't mind.
You know why? Talking
He
to
doesn't
you
mind.
lot, your team,
That's okay.
is like talking to a brick wall.
I know. Just like,
brick wall.
yes, that's why.
Understand?
That's
There's no point speaking to the children of Lucifer.
Brother Jamil, can I say something? You're beautiful thing what he's saying, but you know what? As a Muslim, as a human being,
We are not under obligation.
No, we are. We are,
No,
brother.
we're not.
Brother, they are human beings like us. If we think they're going hellfire, we have to try our best, and we should never give up on them. And I want to say one
Bring
thing.
him a
to them.
life jacket.
They
Huh?
don't
Yeah, I
give
know,
up
I know,
because they think we are going to hell. So good on them. They're trying to save us from hell. So we should do the same thing to them. We should not give up on any human being. So I'm
Okay, Abbas, we're going on. So what is your point you're making? What is the point you're making?
You know, his soul is raised to his throat. He will understand.
Okay, now
what is the
point I'm
point you're
making is
making?
this here. You say, how come you are going against the Sahih Muslim and Sahih Bukhari?
Yeah.
And one of them is telling us, the hadith,
Yeah.
that you can give your breast 10 times suckle and they have become your family member.
Yeah.
The Quran, on the other hand, chapter 24, verse 31, look what it says. And enjoin believing women to cast down their looks and guard their private parts and not reveal their beauty adornments. What is their beauty?
Adornments is like, it could be clothing.
Whatever,
it could be clothing.
whatever beauty, even the faces sometimes it says, don't, even your thighs, legs, whatever, don't show your beauty except that which is revealed of itself, meaning the face and the hands. And to draw their veils over their bosoms. So what it says? Draw their veils over the
Their bosoms,
bosoms. Bosoms is just one. But the hadith is telling us
No, kids keep reading. So
bosom, and
so
not to reveal their adornment save to their husbands, to their fathers, or the father's husbands. In the
right. So how does that contradict this? Yeah, go on.
No. This Quran clearly telling you, the women, cover yourself, don't show your beauty, don't show your private parts to anybody apart from your husband, yeah, or that's the private parts. But the other beauty, like apart from the faces, like normally in front of your fathers and your husband's fathers, you can show your face. You don't have to cover your hair. But this private part, you cover from strangers completely.
Right.
But hadith is telling you, let the stranger come to you, suck your breast 10 times, yeah, and that's okay.
It's not. It's not.
No.
Yeah.
So you, being a just and honest human being, you telling me they are not contradicting each other?
Yeah.
One saying don't show it, the one saying you can.
No, it
it's a
doesn't-
contradiction.
okay,
So,
so-
Quran, I'm going to follow the Quran or hadith.
So let's deal with that. Let's do that. You've made a reference on that, okay? So now let's say what's her name? Report that Sahil bin Suhail. So Sahil bin
No, one
Suhail.
second. I was trying to
Let
make
me
a point
respond.
why I reject Sahih Hadith instead of the Quran.
Right, I'm showing you why they don't contradict. Let me respond. Yes?
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
right. So Sa'id bin Sahal, say she's read that verse. Now the Prophet is right, or what she's heard that from the Prophet, yes? She's heard that part of the Quran from the Prophet. Now she understands this, okay? But now she's in a dilemma, yes? Because this man, let's read it. Let's read what the situation is, the scenario is. Because she's read that verse, the Prophet is there. What is she to do?
What's the Hadith number?
Sahih Muslim 83424. So Aisha, Allah be pleased with her, reported that Sa'id bin Suhail came to Allah's apostle. She's come, so she's in a dilemma, right? May peace be, and said, Messenger of Allah, I see on the face of Abu Hudayfa signs of disgust. Why? Because maybe they've read that verse, yes? On entering of Salim. Whereupon Allah's apostle said, suckle him. She said, how can I suckle him as he's a grown-up man? Because in order for her to suckle him, as you said, in order for the man to be in the same room as him, she has to be like a relative or something like that. But she's saying, wait, how can I do that when it goes against it? But this is what I'm saying is this follows from that. Okay? It says, how can I suckle him? He's a grown-up man. Allah's messenger smiled and said, I'm smiling now. I said, I already know that he's a young man. Yes? Ammar has made this addition in his narration that he participated in the Battle of Badr. And narrations of Ibn Umar, Allah's messenger, may peace be upon him, laughed. And then when we go back down here, he then says, suckle him. She said, he had a beard. So she's fully aware of what the situation is. But what she's saying is that she's now come to Muhammad for judgment, and Muhammad has made a decision. And the decision is that she should suckle him anyway, even though he has a beard.
Yeah, I heard you.
So what I'm saying to you is that it's not a contradiction, it's a follow through. And so the question is, you still have to deal with all these Sahih Muslims, all these authentic hadiths, what Aisha said, what all the sources that came prior to Muhammad says. You can't just simply dismiss them because you fall out of the realm of Islam and its teachings. Yeah.
I would like to advise you, anyone who want to know about the hadith, which hadith to follow and what not to follow, read Sahih Muslim, the introduction of Sahih Muslim. We call it Muqaddamah of Muslim. The first 92 hadiths of Sahih Muslim. It's all about which hadiths are authentic and how you take the hadith and from who you take hadith. And before
Prove it.
For Sahih Muslim Muqaddamah, okay, I can prove it to you. In that even he says, let me read the
So
hadith.
it's going to show us which hadiths are authentic and which are
No,
not.
he is telling you.
Yeah, it's not. So you're going to give us the source that's not authentic.
No, he's gonna give you something someone says about Sahih.
Okay, so you're going to give us.
not about Sahih Muslim.
Come on, Abbas.
Imam Muslim himself, he said the reason why he's writing this book, because there are many false ahadiths out there,
Right.
and there are many people who are supposed to be righteous people. They are telling you things which cannot be right. So this is the reason, the very reason he's writing this
So
book.
let's just get this right. Sahih Muslim
I'll show you.
is saying that you should not follow certain parts of what he has given to people, because this is what he's given, right?
Before him.
No, Sahih. No, I'm talking no. But I'm saying Sahih Muslim.
That's the reason
is
he's
warning
writing
you,
this book, yeah.
right? But he's warning you not to take things that are not authentic.
He said be very careful who you
So,
take from.
so to be careful. So does he include himself?
No, he's not including himself.
Right.
Yeah.
So why are you dispelling him?
I'll answer you. What he's saying to you, the people are already out there, people respect them. But even they make mistake, either deliberately, either subconsciously they're making
Did he talk
error.
about himself?
Yeah. No, but of course he's not.
So your point doesn't stand.
No, what we're learning is here, that no matter how good other human being is, how righteous, how good their effort is, they can make an error. And that applies indirectly or directly to him as well. Because he is telling you the human beings can make a mistake. Imam Malik, one of the great imams, he said, you can disagree with any human being in the world, but apart from the Prophet, peace be upon him. Meaning human beings are, no matter how great imams they are, they can make errors. So what we're saying that Imam Muslim, he warned us, but in himself, he collects some hadith, and in his effort is very good, but even he make a mistake. Why I say that? Because there are Sahih hadiths contradict with each other. There are Sahih hadiths which contradict many hadiths.
So you have authentic contradicting authentic.
Yes.
But you see,
So what do
okay,
you
okay.
do? What do you do?
But you see the confusion in Islam. Hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying.
For me, it's very clear.
Think,
Anything goes against the Quran,
Abbas,
which is authentic.
Abbas, listen to what I'm saying because you're just over that. You think about the words you're using. Authentic contradicts authentic. That's not even logic. Yes? You're using hold on. You're using an illogical argument to try and duck and dive and try to weave around the obvious.
But who
yes?
says authentic?
Right, no, because
Who say? Is the
my
human
friend,
being
what does
saying
Sahih mean?
The human being.
What does Sahih mean?
Did Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam say that this is Sahih?
What does Sahih mean? What does Sahih
Sahih
mean?
means authentic.
Okay, so
Did Muhammad say okay to the current Quran? No.
right.
This is the fourth time.
No, but this
One more time you are banned completely.
Yep.
This video is shared
Yeah.
because this debate you lose. Okay, hang on a minute.
No,
One
hold
more
on.
time she's going to.
Okay. But listen,
One more time this camera woman
Hadith.
jump
I mean,
in.
Abbas,
you lose the debate.
Abbas,
That's it.
Abbas, you know the problem.
she's trying to help
You know the problem is, and what we're trying to show you is this, yeah, is we know you don't have to prove to us, yes, that Islam doesn't make any sense, yes. We don't have to prove to us.
No.
Wait, hold on 1 second. You don't have to prove to us the Quran contradicts itself. You don't have to
never
prove.
said
Hold on,
Quran
one second. I'm not saying you here. Just listen to my little way of thinking, yes. You don't have to tell us the Hadith contradicts itself. We every single week we come. We show that there's so much contradictions within Islam. Yes? So that's not something you need to prove that the hadith contradicts itself.
Less than Bible.
Right? So for example,
The Bible is full of contradictions.
Just a
What are you
minute,
talking
just a minute. Yes?
Shall we talk about
no, well, let's deal with this subject first, then we'll
Right.
move on, yes? Alright. So
You promise you're gonna talk about contradiction in the Bible, yeah?
hold on. Just like as soon as you talk about Sahih Bukhari, Banu Qurayza, I promise you I'll talk about contradiction. Because you've been waiting for a long time. So anyway, let's continue what we're saying. So, for example, we have hadiths that say that you shouldn't even go to the hadiths. Did you know that? That you shouldn't use anything aside from the Quran. Did you know that? All right, let me show you.
Sahih hadith say that?
Let me show you. So now you want Sahih, right?
No, but look, minimum requirement for a Muslim or me as a logical Muslim who reason things, minimum requirement is Sahih. And then amongst Sahih there are differences. There is a Mutawatir Sahih. You know what Mutawatir is? There is called Akhbar-e Wahid. Akhbar-e Wahid means it's Sahih but come from one companion. One companion explains the story. But Mutawatir means there are multiple companions. So when there are multiple companions saying the same thing, the hadith becomes strong. He's going to lose the debate. That's it. You lost the debate. I think you need to swap.
Okay, so let me read Sahih Muslim.
Why she's trying to keep jumping in?
Let me read a few verses.
Hold your horses now. Do you have a zip or something like that, please?
Okay, stop being rude. Listen, this. Sahih Muslim 3
wasn't being rude,
for
just
book
trying to be
55, hadith 92. Do not take down anything from me, and he who took down anything from me except the Quran, he should efface that and narrate from me, for there is no harm in it. And he who attributed any falsehood to me, and Hammam said, I think he also said deliberately, he should in fact find his abode. Muhammad is saying, do not take anything from me apart from the Quran.
No, I need to read it.
Yeah. This is the
3004.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to keep reading while you're looking for it, yes? Sahih Muslim, book 42, number 7147. Ibn Sa'id reported that the Messenger of God has said, do not write anything from me except Quran. Anyone who wrote anything other than the Quran shall erase it. Let's read the Sirah.
I can explain that hadith.
Wait, let me just read this and then you explain everything. It was narrated from Abu Sa'id al-Khudri that the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings, said, do not write anything from me. Whoever has written anything from me other than the Quran, let him erase it and narrate from me, for there is nothing wrong with that. Let's read one more.
It's the same thing you're reading.
Yes. So we read. So the point is that can you not see that your whole Islamic sources is a big mess?
I can answer. First of all, people who take Quran as a yardstick, it proves the point that the Quran is always above there, Hadith is not.
That's not the point I'm making.
No, that is the point for the people who take Quran as a yardstick and Sahih Hadith is not. But anything goes with the Quran, Sahih or weak, whatever it is. For example, it is a very weak Hadith. Somebody come along here, says you should give charity is a good thing. I said, well, I'll take it. Even no matter who's saying it, because this agrees with the Quran. Now this Hadith, what he says, don't write any Hadith.
How you doing, my brother? God bless you. Thank you.
If the Hadith, what you read on
it's saying don't use the Quran. Do you agree with the Hadith?
Don't use the Quran.
It says, no, sorry,
Don't
it says,
use the Hadith.
do not use Hadith, only from the Quran. Do you do that? Do you follow this Hadith?
I'm going to answer you. One scholar is saying that when Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that, at that time the Quran revelations were coming very regularly. So he realized those his scribes who were writing the Quran, on the side they are writing the Hadith, whatever he's saying. So he doesn't...
You should never ever use a Hadith.
No,
you should only use the Quran.
No, what you're doing is you are...
And you're saying, and your response to me is that, no, there's an explanation for that. And I'm saying, verify it. You can't just simply throw assertions out there without verifying what you're saying.
You're putting your own interpretation.
No, give us proof.
Why I'm not having a chance to speak? Sorry?
Hadith. Abbas. Yeah.
I hope the minutes you were talking, that was you lost.
That probably was me.
Okay.
But the point is this. You made a point. You said this hadith, okay, was based on a time...
It's all your talk.
I want to make it clear. I want to make it clear. You said this hadith was based on a time when revelations were coming very quickly, and that this is what he gave at the time. So I want you to prove that.
No, I'm saying the scholars. No, I will.
Just prove it.
I will.
Go on then. Go on. We'll give you 2 minutes to prove it.
I need to have a look into that.
Okay, go on to it.
So
far, why are you proving it? Why are you proving it?
No, I can't find it right now.
Why?
Oh, I'm saying it to you. I will prove it to you.
Google it.
The scholars.
Google the question. Huh? Go ahead. Yeah, okay. I'll continue. I'll tell you what. You look for that. I'm going to summarize and then you're going to come back.
You've done too many times.
I'm going to come back to you when you can bring evidence. Every time I make a statement, I provide evidence. You're not. You've thrown Sahih Muslim under the bus. You throw
come
your
here with
authentic
the topic prepared.
hadith under the bus.
You come here with the topic prepared.
And you don't. And look at these notes. Look at the notes that you always have. You have notes upon notes. Abbas, now don't lie. Do you have notes there?
Prove it.
Thank you.
Wait.
Abbas,
What notes?
Abbas, do you not have
What
notes?
notes? What notes?
Abbas, don't lie.
About this preservation
Abbas,
of the
no.
Quran.
No, do you have notes for Christians here?
I have. Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, about what? No,
Okay, so we're going to summarize. Abbas is going to come back to us when he has
This is John.
proof and evidence, yes? He's thrown Sahih Muslim under the bus. He's thrown the hadiths, authentic hadiths that came hundreds of... What are you doing? What are you doing? Anyway, but the point is this, is that if there are verses missing from the Quran, do we really have the perfectly preserved Quran? If not, why are Muslims following this? Abbas will come to us next time. God bless. She's going to
Ask that question
So, Abbas,
again
okay,
about
so-
what you said about Salah.
So Abbas, this is my question in a nutshell, yes? Because what I've got from you is that you cherry pick which hadith to use. Okay? When the same standard you use for me is when anytime I quote from a hadith, you say it has to be authentic, it has to be authentic, it has to be authentic. That's the standard that you give to me. So when I give you the same standard and I say, hey, this is authentic hadiths, this is what you say no, I renounce the hadith, it doesn't, it goes against the Quran, okay, even though it's sahih, even though it's authentic, yes? So what I'm saying to you is that majority of the way you conduct yourself as a Muslim, in fact, if you go to some of the 5 pillars of Islam, it's all based on the hadith. What's so funny about this, it's just interesting, is that in the Quran it says that Allah's, the Quran, Allah gives the perfect explanation of the Quran. Yes? Okay? Muhammad never sex with a 9-year-old child. We're going to talk about that afterwards. Yes? Oh, yes? Oh, look at, he's still going to follow him. Yes? All right. But anyway, the point is this, is that when we go back in...
pillars we follow.
Right. So the 5 pillars we follow, like when you pray, going to Hajj, and the various other pillars, these are based solely in the hadiths on how you do it. Not to pray, but how you will pray. So for example, you have the Shia, they'll pray a certain way. Whereas the Sunnis, they'll pray a different type of way. Yes? So what I'm saying to you is that you are both Shia and Sunni are based in this on the hadiths. So for you to simply say, regardless of whether it's authentic, I'm going to renounce it, then that's unfair to the Islamic scholars who have taken time to write this. This is unfair to your ummah. This is unfair to what Muhammad taught. Even if he might have contradicted himself, what you're doing as a 21st century man is you're going against the sources that Muslims apply to their everyday living and say, no, this is Abbas's way. And so what I'm asking you, so we start talking about prayer. How do you know, outside of the Quran, how do you know what form, what action to take when you're praying? Is it in the Quran or is it in the hadith?
I got it. First of all, you say, I'm cherry picking hadith. I want to answer that first. Why I cherry pick hadith? Yeah.
Sorry, may I interrupt a moment?
Yes, brother.
Yes, my brother.
I saw you on YouTube, and I think you were talking to this man, but I was amazed at your patience. You were very, very patient.
God bless you. God
And
bless
that's what came over the video. With all his arguments,
Yeah.
you were very patient with him. And the fruit of the Spirit is patience.
Amen, amen,
Well
amen.
done.
God bless you, Pastor John.
Can I say? No, I treat him as a patient, as a Muslim. I treat all the Christians as a patient.
See that? You're just speaking truth. Just speaking
No,
truth.
I'm just answering on the camera. I treat all of you as a patient. My
Abbas,
patient, and I am
Abbas,
being patient.
Answer the
with my
question.
patients.
Answer the question.
So the brother, I don't
So
know what he was
how do
talking
you
about.
know?
Okay.
How do you know what actions to
I got
use?
it, I got it. First of all, you say I'm cherry picking hadith. Why I'm doing that? When you always say, is this sahih or not? Look, I as a Muslim, I use my reason and logic as much as I can, because Quran says that, chapter 29, verse 69, those who strive in our way, we are going to guide them. And Quran, many times I tell people, don't you ponder, don't you reason why we created this, encouraging us to be using logic and reason. Now, I've seen myself sahih hadiths contradicting with each other. For example, the sunset thing, the hadith about the sunset. Was his son setting in the muddy pool of water, as the Prophet says? Or son was going under the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Or son was, there are 3, 4...
Yeah, they contradict each other.
Yeah, exactly. So, how can they all be right? And that doesn't make sense. So I come to the...
Why don't you come to...
It's my turn.
Jesus is right.
It's my turn. I have to speak. You can't just say...
Go.
Yeah, I'm on the floor. You can't practice all that. So as a human being, as a Muslim, I make a decision. And I say Quran is my yardstick. Everything goes against the Quran, no matter Sahih or not Sahih, I'm going to leave it behind. Yeah. So this is why you say cherry pick. No, I don't cherry pick. I do say what goes with the Quran. I reject which goes against the Quran. Secondly, you say how you reject hadith, but you do your 5 pillars. Quran didn't tell you how to do salah. Quran didn't tell you how to do hajj, etc., etc. So my answer to you is, there is something we call ijma of ummah. Yeah? Ijma of ummah, meaning consensus of the ummah, the people. That is more authentic than the hadith. Some say, well, I'm not going to say that on the camera anyway. Some say it's more authentic than the Quran, because Sunnah is just been coming from a long time. Like for example, Hajj. Ibrahim has done Hajj before Quran was revealed. So Hajj we do as Ibrahim done. So your point is, how do I know to do Salah if I reject Hadith? I'm telling you this, and I want everybody just to think about it, what I'm saying, ponder upon it. Sahih Bukhari and Muslim came in the 2nd century, 180 years after the Quran. Now they wrote how to do Salah.
How many years after the Quran?
180 years after the Quran, isn't it? Sahih Bukhari.
Sahih Bukhari, 250 years? Yeah.
250, yeah. Oh, no. Okay. Thanks.
I have to watch you sometimes.
No. Thanks for correcting me on that.
was born 8 and died 870.
Yeah.
She need eyes on that.
270 years, yeah.
Have
So
eyes.
we're helping you. You got it wrong.
Doesn't matter, 180.
So you don't want to say-
That's even better. My case make more
So
stronger.
it came even further, yeah. But that's offensive.
That
Yeah.
my case become more stronger even. What I'm trying to say. 250 years, Muslims were doing Salah. Of course they were doing Salah because Quran says do Salah. Muslims were giving Zakah. Quran says give Zakah. And Hajj, they were doing it for 250 years. So when Bukhari came and write it, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says do Salah like this. 4 rakats and hands up and all that. So if what Bukhari was saying, if that he was contradicting the general public, you think public will say, oh, thanks for correcting us. We were so wrong the way we're doing Salah. Thanks for correcting us. Now we're going to follow exactly as Bukhari says. Either that was the case, or either the case, people already practicing that. Bukhari just put that into pen and paper and just write it for generations to come, just to be in a book. But everybody was doing that. So I say everybody was doing that, and Bukhari just put pen onto paper.
Okay.
Why? No. Why?
Summarize, because you can't talk for the whole.
Okay.
Summarize.
So the point here is, for example, I learned the Salah first time to seeing how my father and mother doing Salah. When I was 4 or 5 years old, and I do Salah, I haven't read Bukhari, what Bukhari says that. Nobody teach me what Bukhari says that. I just saw what my parents doing. And my parents saw how
they could be wrong.
No. My parents saw their parents doing. And that unbroken chain goes all the way back to the Prophet and his companion. So that unbroken chain is more solid than any hadith. What I'm saying in brief, even Bukhari and Muslim was never ever written. We were still doing the Salah because our companions learned from the Prophet, their children learned from them, and their children from there, and generation after generation after generation, we were doing Salah. It has nothing to do with hadith or not. Even hadith
Okay.
Hadith never existed.
I'm going to stop you at one point.
Hadith never
You're going on for a while.
One-
And I've allowed you to speak.
last point. Even hadith never existed. We're still doing the Salah the same way, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, so, I mean, Abbas waffled for a long time, but my question is very succinct. It's very simple. You say we picked out one pillar from Islam, like your prayers, salat, yes? We know salat is in the Quran, right? Okay? Interestingly enough, Allah also gives salat for Muhammad.
Sorry, I have to remind you. Remember Shias and Sunnis are very different.
That's what I was going to say. That's the point. Yes. Yes. That's the point I was going to make. So,
This is how it is.
so the 2 points I'm going to make, because we're talking about Salah. One, Salah, Allah himself practices Salah. So does he practice Salah? Does he do it like the Shias or like the Sunnis? Yes?
You're going
Does he?
different
Wait, hold on. Does he? No, it's a Salah. Yes? Because we're talking about prayer in the. Come on. Now did I interrupt you? Now you're being rude.
No,
Okay. Now you're being rude. Now you're being rude. Yes. Okay. So how does Allah do this? But the question is, how are you supposed to do it? Is it the Sunnis' way of doing it with their hands across their chest, or the way the?
No, they do
is
it
it
without holding
the hand? Yes.
the hand, they
And
lead
then
the hand.
and then the Shias do it a different way. So who's right? Because in the hadith of the Shia, they'll say no, we've got it right. But then the Sunnis will say no, we got it from another place. And so what I'm saying to you is that the bottom line is this, is you go to the hadiths. It's not in the Quran. All the Quran speaks about is salah. It does not say how you should. So by you following it just because your parents did it, and just because their parents did it, you cannot trace it back to Muhammad.
You can.
Yes. So the bottom line. Hold on.
The chain goes back all the way to the Prophet.
Listen to my point. Yes. The point is you are throwing Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim under the bus, but you rely on those points for your 5 pillars, for the most important part of your religion. You rely on it, yet you discard it and
you
throw it
misunderstood.
down.
Let me answer.
No, wait, hold on.
Let me refute.
Did you not talk for 10 minutes and keep making points over and
No,
over
it wasn't
again?
10 minutes.
So let me finish my point, right?
Couple of minutes.
So what?
Can we talk one point at a time?
No, we are talking about the same point. We are.
Let's address one point.
No, wait. So the bottom line is this, is that the whole point of this discussion is based on whether we have what is in the Quran, whether it's true or whether it's false, whether it's preserved or whether parts have been lost, whether there should be verses in the Quran today or whether so we want to know what do we actually have and whether we should have it today. And by simply you disagreeing with what a verse says, which number one, I showed you it doesn't contradict, all it was a follow on from what the Quran said. That's number one. And number two, if you're going to throw Sahih Muslim under the bus, then either you throw if you're going to throw Sahih Muslim under the bus, then throw the whole thing. It's just like this. I used to have this analogy given to me. If you have a fly and the fly lands in a glass of water, yes, has that fly polluted the water, or would you take the fly out of the water and continue drinking it? See, the thing is, once the fly goes into the water's polluted. You throw away the whole thing. You don't just simply take out the fly and then say, well, hold on, we're going to drink it. This is exactly what you're doing. What I'm saying to you is that if you call something authentic, you do not say authentic contradicts authentic. It makes no logical sense, and we can't reason in that way. What you say is, well, hold on, I'm a Quranist only, I don't agree with the hadiths, and you throw the hadiths under the bus. But then, how do you do your prayers? How do you do your hajj? How do you do, your fasting? How do you do these things?
You say, and I waffle a lot. You dig a lot of it.
You're not getting the fact
Can I?
that everything you said is contradicting yourself.
No, you did waffle a lot, seriously. Now, I even forgot what the first point was. Brother, listen. The first point you make, the Shias do differently, Salah and Sunnis do differently. Now, even in the Sunni ahadith, it's mentioned the way Prophet ﷺ,
Sorry, let me correct you. I didn't say that was the first point. That was the second point. The first point was Allah prays for Muhammad. So how does Allah pray? Does he pray towards Mecca or towards Petra? Does he pray the way the Shia or the Sunnis pray? So address that point, then address that
I'm not
point.
address that point because that's a completely different topic.
Come
If we
on.
talk about it.
We're talking about salat.
No.
Does Allah
I'm
do
going to
salat?
how we our rituals, we do our rituals.
Does Allah do
no,
salat?
I'm talking about how we Muslims do rituals, yeah?
So Allah doesn't
No,
do
that's another
salat.
topic. If you want to talk about, don't play some word game here. Now I'm
So-
gonna
so- so you-
I'm gonna no, you're talking over.
Okay, deal with the second point then. If you can't deal with the first, deal with
because
the
that
second.
first one I'm not even entertaining it. That has nothing to do with our topic here. That is what you just saying. Want to change?
Come
the
on,
topic.
Abbas, come
No,
on, come on.
The topic here, Shia and Sunnis do different salah. Even Sunnis do believe. There's once upon a time the Prophet ﷺ done salah like this, open hand. He done salah. But what Sunnis say, that way is abrogated. Now in his later age, before he changed the way he do salah, it was like the way Sunni do salah. So what we're saying that what Shia do salah is also right, Sunnis do salah is also right, but Shia is keeping the earlier tradition of the Prophet peace be upon him. And both ways of salah is right. But what the basic
Both Sunni and Shia are right.
yeah, both are right.
So why do you do Shia?
No, they both are not against Islam.
Why don't you do Shia
You can
then?
make a choice whichever you want to do. I do the salah.
Abbas.
I do the salah the way Sunni do salah.
Okay.
No, you're talking over me now.
That's a
No,
bad argument.
You're talking over me now.
Okay.
You're talking over me. It's not nice.
That's a
You're telling
poor
me that I
argument.
was rude to intervene.
Go on.
You interfere all the time. Please. Secondly,
That was a poor argument.
I forgot what you said.
Okay, let me respond to that point.
No. What was the second or third point?
Because what Muslims no, think about it. Let me just say
I
something.
want to answer the third point. The
Yeah,
third point.
answer the third point.
No,
Yeah.
what was the third point?
What third point? I took
You made third points.
so the first point about Allah, which you ignored.
Second, the Sunni.
The second point was Sunni and Shia, okay? And the third point is the bottom line is that you are throwing Sahih Muslim and Sahih Bukhari and most authentic hadiths under the bus. And what you're saying is authentic contradicts authentic. And
that was not
logically,
your- that was not
the
your
reason
third
that makes
point.
sense.
That was not your
But anyway, let me just say this. Why do you think? Because I haven't got time to wait for you to recollect
forgot your
thoughts.
point.
You.
That's why I say don't make too
Well,
many points.
well, no,
That's
that was
just
my
one
point, but you said it's not.
Because you got
That
too
was
many
my
points.
point. That was
I
my
forgot
point.
your third point.
Okay, that's your
what was his
business,
third point?
right? So the bottom line,
third point?
the bottom line is
That's
this.
your mind.
Don't-
What was
don't-
it?
Just on the topic of the hadith, can I ask you one question?
The third point is I want to answer the third point.
Can I ask you one question on the if hadith is sahih or not sahih? Okay? So, brother, can you take out the handouts for the Islamic Paradise?
Oh yeah.
So, this is just for the, if you believe this hadith is sahih or not sahih, okay? So, he's gonna read it for you.
I'm just gonna get it out, yeah.
Okay? I read it for you.
Oh yeah, third point you made, I was going to refute it.
Just make a point if this is sahih or not for you, okay? So,
Maybe on the video I'll refute your point because we forgot that both of us forgot what the third point was.
just a moment, that's
You
fine.
forgot. No, don't.
No, you also
Let's
forgot.
just focus. It's on the same topic, okay? So, hadith talks about, okay? This comes from the Tirmidhi, okay? Sorry, Abu Dawud recorded that Anas said that Messenger of Allah said, in paradise, the believer will given a such and such a strength for woman. Anas said, I ask Allah's messenger, will one be able to do that? He said, he will be given strength of 100 men, okay, in Islamic paradise. Do you believe is this hadith is sahih or not?
Let's check. What number is it?
So comes from the Abu Dawud, okay? Ibn Kathir puts the tafsir.
So is it, do you have a number?
You need to find it from the Abu Dawud. I am giving you the tafsir.
Look it up, man.
Tafsir of
About we just do your homework for you.
Do you
No,
believe?
I'm sure you have read that. I'm sure you would have found it.
No, because I'm gonna just show you something.
Yeah, you should make a point.
According to Ibn Kathir, okay, he gives you two people, and then says, while that person identified this hadith as sahih, but there is an in-house discussions other person don't.
Yes.
Let's have a freeway conversation.
No, sorry, I need
That's
to be
true.
behind the camera.
Sheikh Albani.
I need to be recording.
Because Sheikh
all the
Albani
point
rejected
is-
some hadith from Bukhari and
The point Godwin is making, Muhammad never saw those hadiths. those hadiths are identified as Sahih, Hassan or Dahih. The things outside of the Sahih and Sahih Bukhari and
Just one
Sahih
second.
Muslim, 100 years after, those hadiths have been accessible to mankind. Today, publisher called Dar Islam identified those hadiths are Sahih or not. They've got nothing to do with Muhammad. Godwin made a point. Oral tradition failed. Oral tradition failed because it has failed. Today you are questioning the hadith itself. You don't even know actually how Muhammad prayed. And the way you pray,
Yeah, you can pray any way
affects
you want.
your eternity.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to...
Yeah. Yeah.
Dial your number.
Behind the camera.
Yeah. So do you get that? So you don't even, you
Or
don't.
another example. Or another example.
I didn't think I was engaged.
Yeah,
with
well,
the
listen.
Bring your ears. I left the camera to just come and help him out.
Did you
I'm
bring your
helping
ears?
you out. I brought my
Listen.
ears.
No, you say 1
That
year.
is a
You say
hadith.
1 year.
I'm the Polemics. So there is a hadith, you know better than me, talks about Muhammad put his hand up on the Torah and then say, this is the
That's
Torah
not
I
authentic.
believe.
That's not authentic.
Why? What is the class?
Hassan.
Why it's not authentic?
Yeah, exactly.
Why is it
That's
not authentic?
Yeah,
Show us why it's not
Yeah.
authentic.
So,
Now you have to prove why it's not
no,
authentic.
the category given
Why?
by the
Give up
scholar.
by who?
by
Yeah.
which scholar?
Which scholar?
Which scholar ran? Godwin wants to know which scholar said this is Hassan,
There we go.
why, and when. Okay,
That's it. That's what we're going to talk about now.
Can I answer that?
Go on.
That's what I want to record. Can you tell Godwin which scholar said it's Hassan, why, and when?
Can I answer that?
Okay.
I'll answer that. She ask me why I say it's Hassan, which scholar says and which not. Now this is a very hypocritical situation of yours. Why? Because whenever you stand on there or telling people, you say it's Sahih. Whoa.
Now you're
No,
waffling.
you say it's Sahih.
Show us the proof.
This is not working, isn't it? Every time I open my mouth, you
Just-
you have to just crush my word there. I have to speak,
Come
brother. You have
on.
to let me speak. No.
I did ask a simple question.
People, are you feeling sorry for me?
I walked that, it takes 5 steps, and then I came back. I lost weight because of you, okay? So, you need to be honest.
You lost what?
And then I had to lose
You lost weight?
Yeah, walking
Yeah,
there.
you're making her go back and forth. Is this how you shoot women?
You need to lose weight.
No, I don't need to lose weight.
Nah, she's
So,
slimmer than you. Look at you.
Abbas,
I'm just joking.
this is the
You know
hadith.
women are sensitive, isn't
Abbas,
it?
this is the hadith you looked at in the past, okay? I want you to tell Godwin, why is it Sahih? Sorry, why is it Hassan? Who decided and when? And then also I need you to tell him, according to whom Hassan is not reliable.
Come on.
That's simple question.
Very simple question.
5
Yeah?
steps.
So let's do that. Let's do that one by
My
one.
question will never be able to come out of my mouth.
Yes. So let's start
Can I
off
answer?
with the first part.
Simple answer without any
Yeah.
interference. Well, as I was saying, when you ask me,
Hey, Sister Mary.
when
okay?
you ask,
Yeah.
Are you coming to see
I have to rush back to church. Unfortunately, yeah. Yeah, exactly. God bless you.
when you ask me to show us which scholar says it's not authentic, so I asked you whenever you quote the hadith and you say this is Sahih. Did you quote
Christians,
us
we
which
don't
scholar?
care.
No, because this is the double standards. You cannot say I am quoting you Sahih hadith when I can ask you a question. Who said this is Sahih? Quote me the name of the scholar. You will never be
I've got a
able-
feeling you're
you
avoiding
know,
the question.
No, you will never.
I've got
be
a
able
feeling
to-
you're avoiding the
no,
question.
No, I'm not. You-
Answer the question.
Abbas, can you look at the camera?
And
I want to see your avoidance.
let's see your eyes. Let's see your eyes. Yeah,
No.
no.
Can I
So go.
can I say honestly something?
Yes.
You know, there
Come
are
on.
my Muslim brothers here. They many times they tell me not to talk to DCCI, and they say, yeah, and I understand why they say that.
Because you don't have
No,
answers.
because you are here.
Answer the
You are
question.
here just to win the argument and not to hear the other person out. When I am speaking, every single time you butt people.
Waffle.
That's not fair. No, it's not waffle.
Waffle.
I just start 10 seconds and you just stopping me. That's not fair.
Diversion. Answer the question.
I have to be heard. I need to be heard because you asked me a question.
You do not.
And I'm giving you my honest answer is this.
Listen,
when you
we
ask
don't want to
when-
speech.
No.
We don't want you to preach about your hurt feelings. We just want to answer.
I will look very, I think that I know what you want. I know
But why?
exactly
Why
what you
can't?
want.
Listen,
I know
you've taken
exactly what-
20 minutes
I know exactly what you want.
to talk
If I
about
walk-
how hurt
if
you
I
are.
say I'm walking
Why
away,
not answer the question?
Then you're going to say, look at another Muslim walk away. And I don't want to do that.
Answer the question.
I am resisting it. I'm really, because you are not letting me speak, I'm going to be straight jacketed I have to say exactly what you want me to say. I can't express what I feel and how I think.
Abbas, answer the question.
The answer to your question is, when you ask me the name of the scholar,
Yes.
you never gave us the name of the scholars. So these are double standards. When you say this is a Sahih Hadith, whenever, can I ask you?
Abbas, answer the question.
Now my question to you is, when you quote the Hadith, Sahih Hadith earlier, Muslim, which scholar says Muslim, this is authentic? Which scholar?
Abbas, you said that there are verses.
No, which scholar?
You said that hadiths are daif, yes? You said that some
I didn't say daif.
Okay, well,
It's
the
a
word
Hasan.
Hassan. Okay,
Hasan.
so
Hasan
give us
is
the
not authentic.
okay. So give us the scholar that brought this ruling, and where did it come from? Yes.
When you pick up the Hadith in the
Give
book,
us the
in
scholar.
the book, Ibn Majah, whichever scholars wrote, whichever scholars analyzed Ibn Majah, and there are many scholars, but you just have to look at the name who analyzed it, and I can
Give it to
I can
us,
bring it
show
in.
it to us.
Look, I got the book of Hadith here, yes? In that, they didn't give you the name of the scholars, but you can find the name of the scholars if you go
Abbas, you're doing it
organized-
against
who
yourself. You're
organized
doing
the
it
book.
against yourself.
No.
You're making up stuff,
No, you asking me a
and
question.
there's no evidence
You asking me a
to back
question
up what you're
which
saying.
You can't back up as well.
So
No.
where is it that shows that it's daif
No.
or is authentic? How do you know? How do we know that?
No.
How can you prove to me that no, these 6 are definitely authentic and these are not daif? How do we know that? Where did Muhammad say that? Where did Allah say that? How can we verify that?
For a normal Muslim,
For a normal Muslim.
you're a normal Muslim, when you open the book of Hadith, for your convenience, the category is already given, and the category doesn't come from Allah. It's not a revelation of Allah. It's done by the scholars, the muhaddiseen we call them. Maybe Sheikh Albani in the recent times. There are many old muhaddis. They have categorized it. You can every single Hadith.
Give us the person who gave the ruling
yeah.
that Sahih, it's only Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Abu Dawud, Tirmidhi, Sinan Najah. Give us the ruling that these 6 are the only ones that are authentic. Come on.
The category
You're taking half an hour to waffle.
No. The category you asking me, you cannot back it yourself.
Waffle.
When you say Sahih, can you back
I'm gonna
up?
make you a waffle ice cream.
This behind the camera. Okay, now let me just.
Guys, this is the heckler who was behind the camera.
You're in big trouble now. You know that.
She was keep heckling all the time. I hope you're not going to do that.
Should I give you the mic?
She just couldn't control behind the camera. Yes, you're here now.
So,
You are
if
the star
something is
now.
in Sahih Muslim,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
that is already identified as Sahih, therefore it end up in Sahih Muslim, okay? Same argument for the Bukhari.
Is it clear?
If something end up in Bukhari,
Yeah.
okay, it is already identified as the Sahih. My brother is simply asking you, okay, while Muslim scholars identify that Sahih Muslim as Sahih, Bukhari as Sahih, okay? Today you turn up out of the pink or blue, what is that color? Out of the blue, and then you identify that as goes against the divine revelation of Allah, okay? Therefore, I gave you an example, which this discussion which we had before. There is a hadith, Muhammad puts hand on the Torah and then says, this is the book I believe in. And according to you, that is identified as the Hasan. Okay? So, my simple question is, I want to know who identified that as Hasan, when it was identified as Hasan. So, let me see, where did you go? Can you just tell? So, you went to the Google check, and check Google
There you go.
is going to help you out. Okay.
Insults, again insults.
It's not
below the belt.
calling. I don't know
I'm
what
not
is that,
crying.
but I don't think that's a good thing.
Oh no.
I don't think that was a good thing you said, but-
I know, I just thought I was crying. Okay, now you see what you did here? First of all, you asked me
Say Google, so go read
You
it.
asked me a question. Who said that hadith is Hasan? Okay. I can't give you the name of the scholar now, but if you want, I can bring this name of the scholar.
You said that quite a few times.
No, I can bring this name of the scholar. What I'm saying, I think that is not in the Bukhari and Muslim, you know that. That hadith about he put on the hand on Torah is not in Bukhari, neither in Muslim. Just to clarify one thing. And that is not considered as Sahih. That's considered as Hasan. So there is a reason why Hasan is 1 degree below Sahih. So now there are scholars who even reject Sahih Bukhari, and that's what I Google right now. You know the Sheikh Albani in the recent times, a great scholar. He died only in 1980s. greatest muhaddith of the last century. He even rejects Bukhari hadith. And that's what he's, look.
Let me just get the date. What is the date for Albani? What is the date?
What he's doing now?
What is the
He
date
always
for
stop
him?
me.
What is the date for Albani? What is the date for him?
When he died, you mean?
Yeah.
Sheikh, I think he died in the 80s.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, someone in 1900s
Yeah.
discredits Sahih Bukhari. Continue.
Discrediting Sahih, that's right.